Eastsiders, come out and play. Eastsiders, come out and play.
Coming in the front and center, state your name and game. Yeah, the Eastsiders back and we came to bang. Giving it up, Heaters and Chucks, rag pain. Strictly insane and we do the damn thing.
It's the big bad Eastside rolling. Now how many blocks we controlling? 2021-15-17-11-19 and the mafioso down.
Myrtle block to the swamp front of grandmama house. Elm Street, 12th Street, all brands knock 'em out. Stay deep, brain deep, make streets the moves. Young G's, little G's, casualties of war. So we push the turn, Teddy puts it work. Homies love seeing thugs, so we look for dirt. When them 6-4s hot, when the Crips slang rocks. When the drip get dropped, when the disc get slopped.
All black with a little bit of gold. Now let me show you young busters how Eastside roll. Foot to the pedal, heavy hand on stiletto. Extra clip for you, booyah, pinchy lump ghettos. I'm about to make the thing crack. We got straps in this wood, I got something more fat. So now you young busters, damn, it ain't no thing when you bang with the dog pan.
I love it. The way the homies come through, all blue, nigga, what y'all wanna do?
I love it.
We got hoes to the left, platinum on our chest, nigga, yep, yep.
I love it.
Can't stop, won't stop, so what that LBC
I
live.
love it.
We do the damn thing all night, better yet, full live.
I love it. We keepin' this thing G, cause that's all we see. I love it.
Yeah, we always gon' roll and stay way too deep. Trey deep, go deep, Snoop Dookies and Trank. Still give it to you like the old-fashioned way. From the LB City where them shells leave really wannabes on their knees trying to beef with a jizzy.
Hey, low, I represent it cause the thing don't stop. Bump the paramedics and the crooked ass cops. It's hard to maintain on the front line. A young brother like me just trying to get mine. Low riders, Eastsiders coming with this G. Can you boss some of this? Hell no, trick. We keepin' this thing gangsta, yeah. See walking on you pranksters, yeah.
We don't really give a man bump, give it up. Get masked up, catch you coming out the cut. G-Rod, slump the low. Better hope you on my side once I clutch and draw. My reactions and fractions fast and on action. Until I die, east to side I stay smashing. Represent this like it's meant to see. To the graveyard or the penitentiary.
I love it.
The way the homies come through, all blue, nigga, what y'all wanna do?
I love it.
We got hoes to the left, platinum on our chest, nigga, yep, yep.
I love it.
Can't stop, won't stop, so what that LBC live.
I love it.
We do the damn thing all night, better yet, full live.
All right, good morning. We just gonna cut it short, baby, and get it started. Top of the morning to everybody. We are on week 6 of NFC East Matters. That's right, baby. We're gonna be talking about all teams in the NFC East this morning. So if you're tapping in this morning, first thing, you know it's the best part of waking up, baby. I need you to give me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, baby. We getting ready to get started on this NFC East Week 6 edition, y'all. The NFC East is the top division in the NFL right now. Did you know that? Y'all tap in with your boy. Let's get this started. I need a like on this video. I need a comment. I need a share. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's help this audience grow here this morning. Good morning, Eastsiders. How are you doing? Do you love it when the homies fall through? Yeah, you know what we gonna do. I love it. Yeah, man, I love it when all us Eastsiders can get together, you know. Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Commanders fans. We should be proud. You know, we're leading the NFL right now in terms of division standings. We got some pretty hot teams and a team not so hot. And we're going to talk about all 4 of those today. So y'all tap in and let me know where you're watching from here today, baby. Good morning from North Carolina. I see you tapping in. All the Facebook users are tapping in. Do me a favor. If you're watching this on one of the 4 locations that we're streaming live on from this morning, we're streaming live from Facebook. We're streaming live from LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Do me a favor. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And be sure to register with StreamYard. Now, I know I'm streaming in some private groups here, and that may have something to do with it. But if you haven't registered with StreamYard yet this morning, do so. That way we can put a name with a face here. North Carolina is in the house. Peoria is in the house. We see Illinois is in the house. Appreciate everybody tapping in this morning. How about the NFC East, y'all? Have y'all been paying attention? How did we go from the NFC least to the NFC beast? Isn't it amazing? Just a couple of seasons ago, how bad they were talking about the NFC East, y'all. Do y'all remember that shit? I know you do. Leave me a comment if you remember. Who do you remember that sticks out the most talking bad? Any of these talking heads that you may follow. Who was talking bad out there about them boys in the NFC least? Y'all leave me a comment and let me know who got on your nerves the most out there when it came to folks talking bad about our division. They need to put some respect on our name, huh? Is y'all finished or is y'all done type of thing, right? They need to put some respect on the NFC East name, correct? Well, the NFC East concluded week 6 last week, y'all. And right now we got 4 teams in the NFC East. You got the Eagles at undefeated 6-0. The Giants at 5-1. Man, the Giants are ahead of the Cowboys. Would y'all believe this shit? The NFC East really matters. When the Giants are playing well, the Eagles are playing well, and the Cowboys are playing well, we might fuck around and send 3 teams to the playoffs this year. You know, that hasn't happened since 2017. But then we got the lowly Commanders. And there's been some news there about the Commanders that we're going to talk about here today that I think is affecting their team overall. And that starts from the owner going on down. They've had a NFL owners meeting here yesterday in New York, right? Did y'all hear about that? Y'all hear about Jerry Jones out there cussing out Eric Kraft, you know, the owner of the New England Patriots, saying, don't fuck with me, per se. Yes, I guess this meeting was about Roger Goodell's salary. You know, are they going to allow him to continue to make money? They want to keep him around. Has he done a good enough job? I think they've got enough votes on the table to keep Roger Goodell as the commissioner in NFL. That's what that big meeting was about. But contrary to popular belief, if you take a look at this down here, you see this picture of my owner and Dan Snyder, the Commanders owner, right? I know Peter Rizzo heard it. He said, yeah, don't fuck with me. Jerry Jones got a little bit of pull, right? Exactly. He told Robert Kraft and Goodell, don't fuck with me, right? So he out there talking bad, you know what I mean? Jerry out there getting big heated at the NFL owners meeting. Well, word on the street was they thought they were going to talk about Dan Snyder and his recent news breaking on Thursday Night Football. Y'all remember when week 6, when the Giants played the Chicago Bears, right? On Thursday Night Football. Well, that morning, news had broke that Dan Snyder had hired an investigators to go around and gather dirt on some people in the NFL. And then a statement came out saying that Dan Snyder got some dirt on Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones. Name dropped them both. Y'all remember that? Y'all tap in with your boy before we get into this NFC East matters. Yeah, we got some dirty laundry we got to wash in our Division 2 as well, right? So as we talk about the Commanders, let's just get into the Commanders because they are, in fact, at the basement, y'all. And, you know, Carson Wentz has apparently been injured. I think something with his finger. Taylor Heineke has been named the starter this week. I actually like Taylor Heineke better than I do Carson Wentz. You know, Carson Wentz is like community property of the NFC East. He might get passed around, you know, maybe to the Giants next or something. I don't know. But anyway, we got the Washington Commanders are at the basement right now in the NFC East. You know, somebody got to be there. They got them Green Bay Packers this week. And I just got to take the Green Bay Packers over the Washington Commanders because, you know, the Giants actually beat the Packers last week. You know, and Aaron Rodgers right now and Tom Brady, in case you didn't know, I think they're 2 of the worst QBRs in the league, both at 3-3 on the season. So last week I had took Chicago over. I took the Bears over Chicago and they won 12-7. A lot of y'all thought I was crazy for that, huh? Well, it was the Bears. And I mean, you can't get any more worse than the Bears and the Giants than any Broncos game on any kind of primetime television, right? You know, the Broncos had 4 games on primetime, 1-1. They got some straight up trash games. But I think the Dan Snyder news broke on Thursday Night Football last week. That helped incline the ratings a little bit. And I think that was a move on their part because just a couple of short days later after that, News had broke that, in fact, Dan Snyder and his claims of hiring lawyers to go around and find dirt on people was categorically false, which means it didn't happen. A lot of issues in the NFC East off the field, let alone on the field. And like we said, Taylor Heineke is going to be stepping in for Carson Wentz. So what does that do for this Washington offense? I don't know, but I got Terry McLaurin on my fantasy football team, and I think he seems to like the fact that maybe Taylor Heineke's coming back, and I hope so too, because maybe I can get some more yardage out of him, because Carson Wentz ain't passing for nothing. But is there any Commander fans here tuning in today? Let me know. I haven't seen too many all season long. I'm trying to find you. Where are you? Somebody do me a favor and tag a Commanders fan on this show. I need to know, are you okay out there? I know you're in the basement. We want to make sure that you're okay, because we know Jeffrey Dahmer down there, baby. We don't want you to get cut up too bad. How many of y'all watch that Jeffrey Dahmer on Netflix, y'all? I did. I binge watched it. It was pretty good. Good history lesson there. But as we talk about our Washington Commanders of the NFC East in the basement, they've got Green Bay this week, and that is at the frozen tundra. So we know how that's going to go. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to score about 11 points on the Green Bay or on the Giants this week, right? But do me a favor, if you're watching for the first time, especially on my Green Bed, is I need to hear from you. You know, a lot of people don't like to get in the gym on NFC East Matters on Wednesday. Maybe it's hump day. Maybe everybody out there getting their humping in this morning. That's why they can't tap in, because they humping in, right? Bobby says, can't stand Brady. The comment he made about the military was so wrong. Yeah, I already addressed that here this morning. I don't want to get on my soapbox about that, so make sure you scroll to the timeline and see my message for the GOAT. Any questions about the Commanders? Any comments, any concerns? Y'all tap in. I'm still looking. Where are the Commander fans at on this timeline? There's over 50,000 people that follow this content, and you mean to tell me there are not that many Commander fans out there? Wait, y'all Redskin fans? Or y'all what the fuck team fans still? Where y'all still confused out there? We know you still part of the family, so come clock in with us, baby. We want to see you and check on you in the basement and make sure Jeffrey Dahmer ain't cutting you up down there. Next up on the list, sitting at third place. That's right, baby. Your Dallas Cowboys are third in the NFC East, thanks to a Giants win over them Green Bay Packers. Y'all remember that? That's right. And the Eagles handed Dallas and that finger-licking good defense a big old cold L, right? Well, the big news is Dak Prescott going to be back, and it looks like Dak Prescott, all signs are go. Haven't officially gotten the word yet on his doctors yet. Let's take a look at the latest news. Let's see what's going on, if there's anything late breaking so we can get it to you here. Not a whole lot of news on Dak's finger, but there is some news that Dak and Kylie Jenner are in some kind of business together now. You know, the Kardashian or whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get in too far with that. But your Dallas Cowboys got the Detroit Lions at home this week, y'all. The Detroit Lions, baby. Let's take a look at the Detroit Lions as our opponent this week, y'all. This offense is pretty potent under Jared Goff, which is very surprising, y'all. They're averaging 34 points a game. I'm sorry, their opponents are averaging 34 points a game on them. They're averaging, quite frankly, 28 points a game, which is pretty good for a Detroit Lions offense under Jared Goff. Would you not agree? King Sharon's tapping in right there. He says, NFC came to play this year. Any given Sunday, any team can get it. We still them boys, and we'll come out at top at the end of the season. I firmly believe that too as well. I cannot wait till Christmas Eve when we get to see Jalen Hurts play his daddy, Dak Prescott. Now, it didn't work out too well when Jalen Hurts played stepdaddy. You know, Jalen Hurts got the best of his stepdaddy when he came up there on that bus. Well, we know daddy's going to be coming home on December 24th, so we're going to hold our breath and see Jalen Hurts again on December 24th. I believe that is going to be the game that's going to determine the NFC East champion. But the Eagles have to still continue to do their job too, as well as the Dallas Cowboys. And we can't put the cart before the horse, as we got the Detroit Lions on deck this week. You know, speaking of the Lions, the Eagles actually beat the Lions 38-35, right? In week 1, I actually picked the Eagles to beat the Lions. And the Eagles beat the Lions 38-35. So with that being said, them 28 points per game that Detroit's scoring, Dallas has a problem stopping the run, y'all. And my concern is this a trap game for the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott coming back? Are you starting to feel like possibly because the way our run defense is set up and with the return of Dak Prescott, is the Detroit Lions this weekend with Dak Prescott essentially a trap game for the NFC East? I need y'all to tap in and let me know. Give me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I need you to like this video, baby. Let me know you're alive and kicking, especially if you're a Commanders fan. I want to make sure Jeffrey Dahmer ain't cut y'all up down there yet. Kaden says, last I heard on Dallas is Jerry Jones, they saying to plan on giving Dak a chance to play versus Detroit. Well, I know they like to slow roll the shit till the last minute. Dak will be inactive until he's active probably on starting as QB1, right? We know how the Joneses like to manipulate player, practice squads, IRs, and all of the like. So we're going to deal with the media all the way up till this weekend. I don't think we see Cooper Rush unless some unforeseen thing happens when it comes to Dak Prescott. He's supposed to be practicing as a full participant today. I don't know, was there any news that came out yesterday? He's seen the doctors, and he's going to be able to throw on practice today. I told you yesterday, that's the one thing we're going to be looking at. Once we see Dak in a full practice capacity out there, getting in first team reps, it's a good possibility we'll see him start versus Detroit. But it looks like all signs are pointing to go. I don't foresee us, after last game, bringing Cooper Rush back if we had to. I think it's critical they get Dak back in the driver's seat. We know what Cooper Rush has to offer as a backup. We know that he can keep the ship afloat. And quite frankly, this Detroit Lions team, the Dallas Cowboys, are going to have to handle business. We have no time to be playing around with this potent Detroit offense at 28 points a game. Now, they're averaging 151 yards on the ground, the Detroit Lions. What does that mean for Dallas Cowboys? That the Detroit Lions are averaging 150 yards on the game. What up, Facebook user? I see you, baby. Make sure you register with StreamYard. Says, what up, family? Was busy checking in from Karnes City, Texas. Appreciate you tapping in this morning. Give me a like, give me a share. Make sure you register with StreamYard this morning. King Sharon says, Eagles and Giants have a good run going, but it's too early. This is playing out just right, and we can run late after the bye week. Exactly. In case you didn't know, after the Lions, you know, it's kind of a jungle affair, if you ask me. You got the king of the jungle and Micah Parsons going up against the Lions this week. Then we have the Bears the following week in Chicago. And then we got the bye week. So is this perfect timing for Dak Prescott to come back? Well, if you listen to some folks, they're saying that this Detroit game, quite frankly, could be a trap game. Do you agree with me? I need to know, anybody else out there feeling the same way? Is this potentially a trap game for Dak Prescott coming back, especially with our run defense being a suspect? Detroit is carrying the ball on the ground, 151 yards on average. They're 8th in the league, y'all. And Dallas is allowing opponents to score 16 points a game after that 26 points that the Philadelphia Eagles put up on us in this last game, moved that up a notch, right? Tanya's checking in from Arkansas there. Says defense has to be on their A game for real. Yeah, you know, that middle of the field, we're going to have to shore that up. I'm sure that Dan Quinn is going to figure that out. But we've been talking about this for the last maybe 2-3 weeks to stop the damn run, right? Stopping the damn run. When are the Dallas Cowboys going to stop the run? If we can't stop this run of the Detroit Lions at home, we might get ate up a little bit by a lion. And I'm not talking about the lion and the king of the jungle when it comes to Micah Parsons. Morning, Aaron. He says, what up, BG? What's the good word, my man? I really feel Dak will play, but in all honesty, whoever's behind center this game will win because of the defense. I like that. I think this defense knows, after what it did against Philadelphia and not having a greater impact than it did, they are definitely going to want to come out and put their imprint on this Lions game, especially at home after a loss and a division loss. Dallas Cowboys are going to have to bounce back. So this is square on leadership, because the discipline that we seen in the game against the Eagles, I believe, could have been the difference in us winning that game. You know, you can't throw 3 picks and you can't be penalized for 70-some yards, 10, 11 penalties, and expect to win a game, especially with your backup quarterback. Now, we gave Philadelphia their flowers, and we're not trying to create any excuses. We know Philadelphia, we're going to get to them in just a second. But do you believe this Detroit Lions game is a trap game for your Dallas Cowboys this weekend? If you're tapping in here first thing this morning, leave me a comment and let me know. Is it a trap? But we're on NFC East. Matters here today, week 6, baby. Top of the morning to everybody. Glad that you're joining us here. We've already covered the Washington Commanders in the basement with Jeffrey Dahmer down there, right? Doing some taxidermy type of stuff, you know, cutting and boiling and skinning and doing things like that. And the Dallas Cowboys got bumped from 2 to 3. We're sitting at 3rd place in the division right now, just above the basement. You know, we could get pushed in the basement very easy, but I think this defense doesn't allow that. So the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to get a win this week in order to stay competitive, especially when it comes to the NFC, right? So let's get to them Giants with Danny Dimes, man. How about the running game? How about the running game for the NFC East? Ezekiel Elliott passed 10,000 yards, right? That was pretty special. Not a lot of talk on that last game. You know, he's in year 7 out there still doing his thing. You got Saquon Barkley over there doing his thing too as well. Miles Sanders, you can't, even Jalen Hurts. Like, how about the running game of the NFC East? NFC East, quite frankly, just running shit, y'all. Where is the lie? Facebook user says, no trap, Dak is going off. Mike Rock says, it's definitely a game we can lose. Well, if you've seen the Steelers, they came out and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know who Tom Brady plays for? Yeah, I got beef with Tom right about now. You want to know what that's about, check out the timeline. Patrick checking in here says, question, can Dak Prescott be the leader for the team hurting thumb and get the W? Got to score all quarter as a team. Protect the QB offensive line. Yeah, man, he been a leader. Where you been at last year? He had the top offense in the league last season with 37 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. Especially, he can lead. Dak is a leader. So I follow what you're saying there, Patrick, but I think if I understand you correctly, coming back after the thumb, can he still do it? Yes, I believe so. But we're on these New York Giants this week, and they have Jacksonville Jaguars, y'all. You know, the team that the Eagles beat 2 already, they gave them a little bit of a run for the money. The Jacksonville Jaguars are no pushover anymore. Are they not? Don't they have that coach over there from Philly who used to coach in Philly? What's his name? I know somebody knows. But Danny Dimes is over there getting it done. I can't believe they beat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, y'all. I mean, hasn't this been kind of a weird season? Who would have bet money that the Giants were going to beat the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore? I'm with you right there, Tanya. Dak is absolutely a leader. If you don't know, Dak has like a master's degree in operational leadership or something like that. Mississippi State. Y'all need to check that out, baby. My man's educated a little bit. Doug Peters. There you go. The guy who used to coach Philadelphia Eagles, right? I had called that a trap game against Jacksonville, against Philadelphia. And Jacksonville jumped out to them 14-0 lead on the Eagles. But the Giants, you know, they just made some quick work of these Ravens this week. And I'm surprised. But that helps the NFC East continue to catapult to the top of the standings this week, right? I've seen some rankings where the Cowboys and the Eagles are both in the top 5. Matter of fact, I think Stephen A. Shitbird ranked it that way. Eagles at 1, maybe Cowboys at 4 or 5. Did y'all see that? Well, the Giants, Danny Dimes, this Saquon Barkley offense is averaging 163 yards on the ground. Y'all, they running the ball, man. I'm telling you, the NFC East is running the damn ball. They're at Jacksonville this week, and I'm going to take the Giants over Jacksonville. I think the NFC East continues to roll. So great job, G-Men. Get it done out there this week, baby. Mike's checking in there. Says Dak needs to take more of a lead, though, and fire under some people's asses. He's too soft when it comes to that. Well, maybe because of the way he expresses that. Now, we've seen some folks that are very vocal, like a Dez Bryant, y'all. Y'all remember when Dez Bryant would get real vocal over there on the sideline because our man throws up the X and he gets a little passionate? Remember that when he was over there yelling at Jason Witten and all them on the sideline? I believe Dak's a competitor. I just think he does it his way. Not like how Tom Brady does, throwing Microsoft tablets and breaking them and throwing fits and shit over there and comparing his career to that of a service member in the United States military. Imagine if Dak Prescott went out there and said that shit, y'all. But we got them Giants this week going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And like I said, I'll take the Giants over Jacksonville. I like Saquon. I like Danny Dons. They running the ball. They are managing to get it done right now. They are managing to get it done right now. And they got a record of 5-1. That's second best in the NFC East right now. And don't it feel good to be in the NFC East, y'all? Appreciate that, Patrick. He says, man, BDG, love your show. Great work, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Patrick, for tapping in. Make sure you give me a like and give me a share on your timeline. Thank you very much for tapping in here. We're live here every Wednesday. I may have to move the time frame to 10 o'clock, man. I was really challenged this morning, had some things come up. You know, my challenge is to make sure I get everybody out of the house this morning so that way I can get on the tube with y'all. I may need to move this to about 10 in the morning. So look at that. We didn't get started till about 9:30 this morning. I like to do it at 9 early because that puts it at noon on the East Coast. You know, it is the best part of waking up, and I hate to go live, especially when my East Coast folks are already in the afternoon. Anyway, as I digress, thank you, Patrick, for checking in here, and thank you for supporting the content and letting me know. Hey, good morning, Sherelle. Another green badge on the line. I seen you out there in the belly of the beast in Philadelphia, girl out there kicking it. Appreciate all of the photos and the video that you shared with us. Looked like you had a great time despite the consequences. What up, Facebook user? I see you. Make sure you register with StreamYard, baby. Appreciate you tapping in this morning as we talk about the NFC East. So the Giants are second place right now in the NFC East, right behind those undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, y'all. Like I said, I got them over Jacksonville this week. I think Saquon Barkley continues to eat the run game of Danny Dimes. They're continuing to find ways to win. The Brian Daboll influence is showing his head over there in New York, and it's got to be exciting, especially for Giants fans. Because they've been fighting for, you know, who's going to see Jeffrey Dahmer in the basement for the last couple of seasons with the Commanders. So I think they're going to sacrifice Carson Wentz this week and leave him in the basement as they bring on Taylor Heineke. So stick around as we get into week 7 next week to talk about how this goes. So that's your New York Giants of the Woo, didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that, y'all. I think I hit the wrong button. See, I got all kind of technical issues this morning. So I'm going to eventually get it together here, y'all. I'm going to eventually get right this morning. So y'all stick with me. Here we go. We got to bag up. We got to bag up. All right. All right. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Almost lost the stream there. Y'all hit the wrong back button. I seen you out there, Sherelle. Appreciate you tapping in. So let's get to the leader of the NFC East. The only unbeaten team in the NFL right now is from the NFC East, baby. You know how they used to talk bad about the NFC least? Now all of a sudden, where this, you see how even the Associated Press has picked up NFC least to NFC beast. I wonder where they found that at. But we're talking about this Jalen Hurts-led offense right now, along with this star-studded offense with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Well, the Philadelphia Eagles, they got a bye week this week, right? Yeah, they do. So they get to bask in all of their success. They're peaking a little too early, if you ask me, but I think they're going to come back out. They got Steelers on the 30th, right? Well, we're going to see after this week how that looks. I almost want to pick Pittsburgh to upset Philly, but Philly, again, 156 yards on the ground. Remember what I'm telling y'all. NFC East running the damn ball, y'all. So with the bye this week, you know, the Eagles get to stick their chests out all week and bask in all of their success. as they'll remain at the top of the NFC East even after week 7, no matter what the Cowboys do, no matter what the Giants do. And then, we got to wait until we hit our bye and the Giants hit the bye and for some other things to happen to see if the Philadelphia Eagles can be knocked off of the throne from NFC East before Christmas Eve. So I ask this question to y'all. Do you think with the schedule of Philly leading up to Christmas Eve, let's take a look at their schedule. They got Pitt after the bye, Houston, Washington, Indiana, and Green Bay. Yeah, man. They got a pretty easy schedule, it looks like. Could the Eagles remain undefeated going into Christmas Eve? Imagine that, y'all. Boy, the media would be all over that, wouldn't they? But think even better. What if the Dallas Cowboys continue to handle business too, and it becomes this blockbuster game on Christmas Eve? Well, only time will tell. Washington Eagles got a bye this week, so we wrap them up very quickly. They're fourth in offense right now with points per game at 26. Their defense is outstanding too as well at 17.5 points a game. And quite frankly, they got us running the damn ball. Now, we know Hurts passed for a couple of touchdowns against us, right? Well, we still are allowing teams to run the damn ball on us. And my concern this week coming up against Detroit is, like I said, how many yards is Dallas going to allow Detroit to run on us? But that's the Philadelphia Eagles at 6-0, leading the NFC East, the top of the NFC East, and quite frankly, the top of the NFL rankings right now at number 1 in most rankings by most media outlets. Exactly, Sherelle. They got a pretty easy schedule. Matter of fact, they got the easiest. I think we had the second to easiest, if I remember correctly. I think we were just above the Philadelphia Eagles. Mike says, I'm sure they'll have a nice platter of shit on their bye week. Yeah, or them horse chips, one of the two, right? Hey, Rodney, appreciate you tapping in here this morning. He says, looks daunting. I'm with you there. But that's your NFC East right there. And we are on NFC East Matters here for week 6. We've recapped week 6. We're heading in to week 7. And let's do this because I haven't got to this yet. Let's take a look at the NFL sack leaders, y'all. We got them up there. So the race for the sack record, we still got Micah Parsons tied at 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 folks tied at 6 sacks apiece under Alex Highsmith of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's leading at 6.5 sacks on the season. We still got Dorrance Armstrong up there with 5. And that's about it. Yep. Armstrong and Parsons are up there, right? You got Williams. So Micah Parsons didn't record a sack last game, y'all. So based on Micah's meter, you know what I mean? How many sacks do you think the Dallas Cowboys can get this week? Will Micah Parsons improve on his sack record count this week? I think he needs to. As we go into week 7, he's going to have to get at least 1 sack to average a sack a game. His sack goal this season is 23. So if you're just joining us here on NFC East, y'all know I like to track Micah Parsons' sack records. And basically his goal at 23 is going to beat the actual record held by Michael Strahan at 22.5 and tied by TJ Watt at 22.5. So Micah Parsons needs to get a sack against Detroit to continue averaging at least 1 sack per game to hit his mark. Or he's going to have a few multiple sack games in order to keep up. We've been very fortunate. Not a lot of movement in the top tier of this sack track here, right? Alex Highsmith's been on 6.5, I think, a couple of weeks now. You know, we've seen the Chargers get out there. Mack bumped up to 6. Bosa. Is that, yep, Nick Bosa. That's up from the Niners. So not a lot of movement when it comes to the sack leaders. So this week, the Dallas Cowboys defense, especially Micah Parsons, is going to have to net some sacks in order to stay abreast his goal, which is 23. You know, the pace that he was currently on, he could have broke it by the Colts game on December 4th, which was what I'm looking at, getting boots on ground. Well, he's going to have some multiple sack games to pick that pace back up, and he's definitely going to at least have to get 1 sack this game to average 1 sack a game. Ultimately, he's going to need some multiple sack games to reach that goal of 23. But to stay on track, he needs to get at least 1 this season. How many sacks do y'all think Micah and his defense going to net this weekend before we get out of here as we touch on the sack leaders in the NFL? But if you're just tapping in and you don't know what platform I'm using, it's called StatMuse, StatMuse. It's great for creators. You can use it. It's free to use. So make sure if you want to keep up with stats, if you're creating content, if you're a fan base creator out there in one of the 32 NFL fan bases, make sure you go check out StatMuse. It's free to use. As you can see, we use it here for our shows every week for NFC East Matters to track all teams, all players, and everything shaking and moving in the NFC East. Tanya says, has Michael been playing hurt a little bit? Yeah, he has. Some folks are saying it looked like it showed up in that last game. But I don't know if Michael's really going to tell us is he really hurt or not. Because, you know, the lion's the king of the jungle for a reason. He didn't just get there by chance. So we're going to have to pay attention to that moving up into this Detroit. How is Micah's play going to be when it comes to that groin, I think it was, right? But good point there, Tanya. Caitlin's checking in, says, I'm going to say they tally up 5 sacks combined. 2 for Parsons, 1 for Tank, 1 for Dorrance, and 1 from Curtis. I like it. Got to put 5 on it. Finger licking good defense has got to come back, baby, because I didn't like that. We didn't get but 3 pressures, I think, to Jalen Hurts, if I'm not mistaken, where we've been getting 20, on average 20 against other teams. What did the Philadelphia Eagles do offensive line scheme-wise that stopped the Dallas Cowboys? That's interesting, right? Sam's checking in there. He says, Micah getting 3 sacks Sunday. Dak putting up 30 points. Let's fucking go. We back. And Dak we trust. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. A, how does this offense look now under a new perspective when it comes to Kellen Moore after Cooper Rush driving this bus? How is that going to affect Dak Prescott in this game? As we get ready to wrap it up here on the show, y'all, do me a favor, if you're tapping in for the first time, let me know where you're watching from, baby. We are live on NFC East Matters here. It's week 6. We're recapping week 6. We're going into week 7. And right now, in case you didn't know, the NFC East is running shit, y'all. Literally. On the ground and on them screens. Especially when it comes to streams. But make sure if you're using StatMuse or if you've got a little creative bone in your body, you know, you're creating more content around your favorite NFL team this year. I see a lot more people doing it. They don't even know it. You're likely a fan base creator and don't even know it. You say, well, what's fan base creator, BG? Well, I need you to take a look at this scrolling down right here. If you like to read, which I know most Cowboy fans don't do, but for the Cowboy fans that do read, if you like to go to Amazon, if you got Kindle, check out my ebook series there. There's 3 ebooks around fan base creator. And I talk about StatMuse in these books. Learn how you can get a return on your investment when it comes to creating content this season. Did you know that the average NFC East fan spends about 4.5 hours a day on their phones, y'all? Now that's according to Statista, Statista. So my question is to you, what return on your investment are you getting following your favorite NFL team, especially your favorite NFC East team this year? Well, if you want to learn more, just go to Amazon, download the Kindle app. You can have iPhone, you can have Android, and check out my 3 ebook series there called Fan Base Creator, where you can learn how to get a return on your investment and stop wasting 4.5 hours on your phone a day and just getting some comments, likes, and shares. Caitlin's checking back in. She says, Jalen is mobile. That's the difference. Brady's stationary. Same for Burrow and Stafford. Well, Jalen threw for a couple of touchdowns against us. He didn't really run that much, did he? Let's take a look at what was his running. What did Jalen have against the Dallas Cowboys? How many yards did he have? Yeah, two TDs, 155 yards, 15 on 25 for passing, right? Yeah, 27 yards total. He wasn't that mobile against Dallas Cowboys. He is mobile nonetheless. But when it comes to Miles Sanders and you take away the run game to some extent, I mean, Jalen passed for a couple of TDs on us. So Dan Quinn and them are going to have to get that figured out. So we got a good look with our backup against the NFC East leader in the Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't doubt that we're going to get that right and adjust those things that need to happen for us when we face them again to be able to get a victory on Christmas Eve, y'all. Caden says, true. I would say that the reason Dallas wasn't able to net as many pressures, though. Exactly. We only had like 3. We had less than 5 pressures, I believe, if I remember reading the reports correctly. We had nowhere near as many pressures on Hurts and the Eagles than we did all these other teams. You know, like 20-something against Stafford, 20-something against Cincinnati. Those pressures matter. And the way that the Philadelphia Eagles schemed, Micah Parsons, even with his injury, they did an outstanding job of limiting our pressures, which in fact helped Philadelphia win that game. So I'm not certain. I'm not thinking Dan Quinn is going to look that and just throw that in the gutter. I think he's going to look at that and make some adjustments going in because, Dan Quinn is the ultimate practitioner. So I'm happy that, he'll get that right. And definitely, if we can get Dak Prescott under center, we can begin to get this team assimilated right before the bye with 2 very winnable games against the Lions and the Bears. Now, I don't want to write them off because anything can happen. I mean, the Steelers beat the Buccaneers, I thought, last week. We're not going to put the cart before the horse. And we understand Detroit could look like a trap game. But with Dak Prescott back under this offense, I think it gives the defense a boost too as well. But only time will tell, so make sure and do me a favor, turn on your notifications, baby. We're live here every Wednesday for NFC East Matters. This is week 6. Next week, we'll circle back week 7, and we're going to find out the state of the NFC East. That's right, Leslie, any given Sunday. So this show to you was brought to you by all of the 120-some-odd supporters that support this content. All of my green badges, thank you. Every Saturday, we like to honor our supporters here, talk about their stories and highlight their businesses and things that they got going on. As an established network here, we're built different groups. So make sure you join us here every Saturday too as well. Make sure you turn on your notifications. But this is our scheduled show every week. Probably going to have to move that. Just count it now till 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. I'm going to have to move that and adjust all of the artwork as a result. I've been challenged here between 9 and 9:30 in the morning, so I want to make sure we got a solid time every week. Everybody knows they can come here and join in. And that's going to be Wednesdays at 10 a.m. on the West Coast, the best coast. So do you think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be able to reel off a couple of wins against the Lions and the Bears going into the bye? Is Dak Prescott going to return? Can we see this team shape up at the right time and get ready to peak after this bye week? I had the same question for the Philadelphia Eagles. As you're 6-0 headed into your bye week now, I'm going to be real curious. I'm going to be really watching to see how the Eagles come out against that October 30th game when it comes to the Steelers, because they got Alex Highsmith over there with 6.5 sacks. So they got a pretty good defensive guy over there too as well. But I'm curious to see how their energy, how their game plan, how the execution looks after coming out of this bye week, because that's going to be all on coaching. So Nick Sirianni, we see you out there talking about the NFC East, right? As we talk about the NFC East, let's just see what the Eagles head coach had to say about the NFC East and why it matters, y'all. He says, of course, you want to win the games against the teams in the division because that's what's so cool about this division. Because there are hated rivalries. Now they all count the same. That's still one win, but it's sweet because this is a cool division. I really don't like the Eagles, but I can agree with Nick Sirianni on that. It is a pretty damn cool division. Matter of fact, it's the boss division in the NFL. Not only are we paying the NFL's light bill, now we're paying the NFL's water bill as a result. Sam says, we win in these next two games. The Bears and Lions just flat out are not good football teams. I can agree with you. But then again, we're talking about these Dallas Cowboys. And you never know what team's going to show up, right? Like I always say, you got to drink a little something or smoke a little something to deal with these Dallas Cowboys week in and week out. They should be winnable games, but we're going to have to see, is Dak Prescott going to officially be back? There's going to be more news to follow, so make sure and do me a favor. Turn on your notifications, baby. The NFC Beast is back, in case you didn't know. That's right. The NFC Beast is back, baby. And with 3 out of the 4 teams right now serving in the NFL, we're going to see after week 7, where does the NFC East continue to rank at when it comes to these other divisions in the NFL. So if you're proud to be part of the NFC East and one of the 4 teams, I need you to do me a favor. Just like this video. So that way, next week, this video will pop up in your timeline a little faster, and I invite you to come over here and join us. We're not biased as Cowboy fans. We're giving people props in our division. Hats tipped to the Eagles being the only undefeated team. And I'm proud that the NFC East is out there leading the NFL this season. Are you? But that's why you join me here every Wednesday, especially now at 10 a.m. on the West Coast. My name's BG, the Cowboys Unified, baby. You know what it is. We're in the gym, baby. That's the only way you can develop muscle. So join me here in the gym next Wednesday. And thank you to all of those gym memberships from my supporters that keep this content going, baby. We'll see y'all on the next edition of week 7 when it comes to the NFC East matters. Because why? We'll just take a look at the standings, baby. We running the NFL. We'll see you on week 7.